On that note, it is officially 9/14/18, September the 14th, 2018. Welcome to the live edition of the Third Down Show. I am your host, T. Wayne the Don. Well, it's a beautiful day to be alive. It is Football Friday. Starting off with the pros last night. I know there was a few college games last night as well, but all the way from Thursday to Monday, football will be played on these days. So, guys, we'll talk a little bit about last night. I gave y'all my prediction. I said the Bengals would win this game. I didn't like the energy in the second half. They wasn't as focused. Didn't put up as the number of points they did in the first half, but they did enough to win the game. Talk a little bit about LSU Auburn today, just a little bit. Talk about the Saints and the Browns, and probably get into probably the bigger matchups in the NFL as well this morning or this afternoon. So, guys, it's a beautiful day to be alive. I hope y'all enjoying yourselves this morning. Had a beautiful morning so far. It's a beautiful day out in South Louisiana. Very, very beautiful. I don't see a cloudy cloud in the sky right now as we speak. So let's talk about last night. 34-23 was the final score of the Thursday night matchup with the Ravens and the Baltimore Ravens. The Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens last night. Andy Dalton had an impressive performance, something that we don't see too often, a full touchdown performance, 24-42 last night, 265 yards for Dalton. As his counterpart on the other side for the other team, Joe Flacco, went 32 for 55, yikes, threw the ball 55 times. 376 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the day. Now, it looked like the key difference to me, it got to be up on the offensive line because guess what? Cincinnati won the game. Joe Mixon had 21 carries for 84 yards compared to Collins. He had 9 carries for 35 yards. Now, granted, they found themselves behind the sticks early because when I put on the game when I came back from church, it was going almost close to the end of the half. And it was at one point it was 28-7. They got a late score before the end of the first half to make it 28-14 last night. So they fought hard. They did put themselves in positions to come back in the game to make this a ball game. At once upon a time, it was, I think, a 5-point game in the game. It was a 5-point game. It was 28-23. Cincinnati offense didn't score only but 6 points in the second half with field goals. So, kind of concerned they lost their high power, and this was all that was just in the first half. The second half, they didn't do nothing. But I said this, and I'm going to give my kudos to them. Whoever won this game will put themselves ahead of the pack of the AFC North. I said that earlier. So that's why, shout out to Cincinnati. I said it. They did it. They earned their spot to be, I know it's only 2-0. But when you look where the Browns are at right now, when you look where the Steelers are at right now, the Steelers, so much is going on right now, especially if the Steelers come out and lose to Kansas City this weekend, this win might prove to be a lot for the long run. If the Browns find themselves behind the sticks at 0-1-1 in New Orleans this weekend, well, once again, you kind of setting yourself up for later weeks in the season. Let's think about it, guys. We're going to be in week 3 next week. And we're already going to be out the month of September going into October real soon. So when you start getting in October, the middle of the season is right there. Games really matter. These early games matter a lot. I really want to see what's going to happen, especially this weekend. Because, I was watching First Take this morning. First Take think that the Steelers possibly going to lose this game with Kansas City this week. Now, I always said that's Kansas City's kryptonite. But they think they're going to lose this weekend. You never know. Not trying to focus too much all on that right now, but back to the game at hand. I had a feeling Baltimore, they had Baltimore to be a 1-point favorite to win this game, but Baltimore played the worst team in the league last week in Buffalo. Joe Flacco still proving he's not. He's to me he's above a system quarterback. He is, but he's not no elite quarterback. He's just above average, above system. He can do enough for you to win games. I don't know. I think games like this, I want to see Joe Flacco win. When you start thinking about the Harbaugh brothers between John and Jim Harbaugh, ever since they went to the Super Bowl, you see Jim Harbaugh, he had to go to Michigan. John haven't really recaptured that playoff magic ever since. If I forgot the DB who really let Jacoby Jones get behind them in Denver. If that never would have happened, we'll still be looking at this team as an average football team. A team that just do enough to get by to get in the playoffs. To me, they never replaced some of their key parts of that defense with Ed Reed, with Ray Lewis. You left Terrell Suggs. You added, I lied. Eric Weddle's pretty cool. He's solid. If you'd have had Weddle and Reed together at the same time, man, that would have been nasty. That would have been nasty. Because the football IQ would have been there. If Weddle would have played with Ray Lewis, that defense would have been nasty. Even more nasty. I'm just saying. But still, they find themselves second in the division, regardless of what's going to happen with the Browns and the Steelers. But shout out, like I said, give it to them one more time. Give it to them one more time. Like I said, Cincinnati deserved that. They found themselves 2-0. That is a big win if you ask me. For the fact is, you look at the rest of your division between the Steelers and the Browns, who haven't won a game yet, who haven't lost a game yet. But if they could come out in this weekend both L's, that kind of them put them way ahead of the pack with them having that tie way in the back. And they'll find themselves at the bottom of the division. So, kind of interested to see a little bit about that this weekend. So it's time to move on just a little bit. LSU play Auburn tomorrow. What's misunderstood don't really need to be explained to a degree. Play Auburn tomorrow. Two in battle of the 2-0s. Both teams, if you ask me, and I said this Wednesday, you really don't know how good both teams really is. Auburn, who look back at Auburn's last 5 games of the season. I'm not going to go all the way back. Well, we might as well go back all the way from last year. Back on November 25th, 2017, they played Alabama 26-14. They lost to Georgia 28-7 in the SEC championship game. Remember, weeks prior at home in Auburn, they did defeat Georgia. They lost to UCF 34-27. They started the year off a comeback win 21-16 against number 6 Washington. And last week they beat Alabama State 63-9. Let's talk about the Tigers' last 5 games, going all the way back to November 18, 2017. They defeated Tennessee 30-10. They defeated Texas A&M 45-21. They lost to Notre Dame 21-17. They defeated Miami 33-17. And they defeated Southeastern this past weekend 31-0. I'm not trying to go back off of last season, but piggyback what they did. But I would definitely give the advantage more to Auburn in this game because they didn't lose a lot. Kerryon Johnson went to the. He was a dead bell horse back there. Can't even lie about that. But didn't lose a lot. They got Stidham back for another year. Tim Tebow said this morning too, and I'm agree. When the pressure get put on him, he got to show that he's really that doggone good to prove to people that he can play in this league. Prove to people he play in this league, and also prove that he can make plays under pressure. And I think that's when LSU going to kind of feed off. I think they're going to put some pressure on him and make him make quicker decisions. And I think that's up in their favor. The defense going to keep them in this game as long as they can. I do definitely believe that. Defensively, they're going to stay in this game just for the fact of the matter is LSU defense has always been talented. But I think Auburn is looking at it for like this. Strength on strength, okay? Their strength is defense. Our strength is defense as well. So one of our offense got to make a play. And I think Auburn's offense is going to make more of a play than what LSU can because LSU's offense haven't shown me nothing in the first 2 weeks. They only put up 14 points, technically only put up 14 points against Miami. And what I mean by that is the offense itself with a drive that scored in the end zone only put up 14 points, and that both came off of runs. Now, if you ask me, there was a throwing touchdown in there, but they didn't review it. They all came off of runs. Special teams helped out. And I think key part of this game is LSU got to find a way to at least put points on every drive. I think if they can at least get in position to kick field goals and to stay around in this game as long as they can. If Auburn leave the door open for LSU in this game, I think LSU going to find a way to stick around and possibly find themselves in a position to win the ball game. If Auburn let them stick around. I don't think LSU going to be able to run the football effectively the way that they normally do against any other team because Auburn's defensive line is very talented. But if Auburn leaves the door open, and I think this is going to be the coming out part. This is the game that we're going to see as LSU fans to see if Joe Burrow really is the answer. And I think as a fan, I'm excited because I want to finally see, is this man the answer? We've been going through the years of Danny Eggling. We went through the years of Zach Mettenbergers. We went through the years of Brandon Harris, Anthony Jennings, Jordan Jefferson, Jared Lee. I think there was another one named Hatcher. All them guys, Ryan Perrilloux, Matt Flynn. I mean, the last best quarterback, I think, in my opinion, will have to be talented at LSU. I'm not talking about the NFL. Will have to be Jamarcus Russell. And Matt Flynn was a system guy, but he did enough to win games for you. So I want to see if Burrow really going to be the man, really and truly be the man tomorrow to win the game. Because the game going to be put up on his shoulders. Auburn going to take away the run game. Be like, number 9, you got to beat us. I'm telling you, that's the game plan for tomorrow. LSU same way. Put pressure on number 8. Put pressure on Stidham tomorrow. Make him make quicker decisions. If he make quicker decisions tomorrow, LSU got a fighting chance to win this game. Now, Auburn's a 10-point favorite, but he has a fighting chance to win this game. They have a fighting chance if they put pressure on Stidham, and they also, if they take care of the football, also, if they just do the right things. Offense got to at least put up 21 points. At least. And I ain't talking about in garbage time. I'm talking about early. Prove people wrong tomorrow. Now, I did talk a little bit about college on Wednesday, but I want to talk a little bit about it right now just to see if anybody says this makes sense. Tom Herman, Texas Longhorns, playing USC for the 3rd time. Game really don't mean too much. I mean, USC, sad to say, losing to Stanford last weekend, their season's kind of over early. And I'm not saying it's over, but as far as them trying to find a way to fight back and get in position to possibly be in the college football playoff, losing last week kind of put them a step back. I don't think they're going to win enough games to put themselves in contention this year. But Texas is a must-win for Texas because now the media, and when the media start to talk about it, that's not good. The media is saying how Herman was this big guy. He had a successful season at Houston and blase, and came over here to Texas. He was supposed to be the savior of Texas football to get Texas back in the map. Now, here's the problem with that is, first thing first, you just saw what A&M did this past weekend against the number 2 ranked team in the country in Clemson. They found themselves competing in that ball game. If you put Texas in that situation, I really don't think Texas got enough juice to compete with Clemson. They'll get blown out the water. At home, they would not beat. No, they just wouldn't do it. They, honest to God, would not do it. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. So let me ask you this. So let's just say Herman now finds himself on the pre-warm seat. Not hot, but it's starting to get a little warm. This is a must-win for Tom Herman to give hope to the program and still show the program that we still striving to become the best team we can be every single day. This is a must-win for Tom Herman and the Texas Longhorns. I'm sorry, you have to win this game this weekend. You have to win this game because if you don't, then you start putting more doubt around your fans and around your student body that this guy might not be the answer. But if you think about it, who can be the answer for the Longhorns? Who? I think recruiting-wise, like I said, with Jimbo Fisher being in Texas now, and you still got to look at Oklahoma. You still got to fight with the SEC when it comes to recruits as well. You're in a bad area where kids not signing up for your program. What can you do different to get kids to start signing up for your program? it don't make it no better. Like schools like Georgia, all of a sudden is starting to get 6-star people like what Alabama getting. If I'm a